Here we are. All right, you should be able to all see, yes? All right, great. And Nora, you're still upside down, so I don't know how to help. So hopefully you can see everything okay. All right. Thank you everyone so much for being here. Please do feel free to put your questions in the chat as you go through. And of course, I will allow you to unmute at the end, and I will take any other questions that you have. Each year we have an informational funding meeting. So you'll just find out about some information about applying to United Way's upcoming granting season. I know all of you did go ahead and submit your letters of intent, and you did receive those invitation letters. For those of you that are new to United Way funding, those of you that have been funded in the past 3 years for a program that you're looking to apply for did not have to submit an LOI. So I did just want to make sure that you are all aware of that. And if you do have any questions about the LOI, perhaps you're here and you didn't know about it and you didn't submit or something like that, which I'm sure is an inevitable question, I will bring all of that to our Community Impact Committee, and it'll be up to them if they will accept your application or not. So I do not have the authority right here, right now to say one way or the other. So you all know our mission. Together we fight for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in our community. And of course, we have a great team. Many of you have met some folks here today, and you've heard from Jeannie and heard from our development team, and of course our program staff are behind the scenes, making sure everything is going well this morning. I always do like to really think about what Cami was saying earlier when we talk about everything that's happened in the last 3 years. And it's really wild that we're coming up on the 3-year anniversary. And I know, we're in a very different space than we were in March of 2020. But, we still have 500 or 600 deaths a day here in the United States. We've lost over 1.1 million Americans. So I would just like to take a moment and just think of them. And thank all of you for what you've been doing to help all the families, households, children throughout this very challenging last 3 years. And hopefully we will be in a space where things continue to improve. So we've done a lot of strategic planning at our organization. We have a strategic planning board subcommittee that is very engaged and involved in our work. And a couple of times we wanted to make sure that we are still investing in the most critical priorities in our community. And after the pandemic, everything changed again. So again, we of course went ahead and did another community survey and find out from our donors and partners and volunteers to make sure that we were in fact still investing in those really critical priorities. We did of course learn that we are still in touch with all the most urgent needs, and we continue to be flexible in our strategy and make room for new and emerging needs, as again, this is a very uncertain time. And my team often asks me, what are the biggest needs in our community? And you can ask me 1 month and I'll give you one answer, and then you ask me the next month and it might be a different answer, right? It's just been a lot of needs converging at once throughout the last 3 years. And of course we had a lot of need before the pandemic. And of course, this is all very involved and engaged with our board of directors, and the determination was made that the identified priorities are in alignment with community need and donor directives. So how we sort of look at our funding year, and it is a long process, and I know some of you, of course, have served as community grant reviewers, and if that's something you're interested in learning more about, please do send me an email after this, because I am still looking for a few more folks to participate. And if you are also applying for funding, no worries, I will make sure that you are not reviewing your own application or any of its competition. So do let me know. I know a lot of development folks do find it an interesting process to be on the other side of it, so to speak. So each year we release, we have a community conversation. We focus around food insecurity, and I know some of our food security partners are on today's meeting. We then had a letter of intent process and had our Community Impact Committee evaluate the letter of intent submissions. It is very brief, as those of you that applied know. It is not to add more burden. The reason we do the letter of intent is really in terms of equity. So what we've heard from the past is some organizations, would submit a full proposal, which do require a lot of staff time and a lot of resources. And if the proposal, was not in alignment, and this is an organization that has one or two, if that, paid staff, that was taking a lot of resources that could be used to help folks directly in the community. So we wanted to have a letter of intent process so they could let us know their idea. And then our community impact committee was able to say, yes, that does align with what we're looking to do, or no, that's, not a great fit. Maybe another foundation might be somebody else to reach out to. And then also in terms of our volunteers' time too, we wanted them to really be focused on the proposals that had a really great chance of being invested in. We release our RFPs after that, and you'll learn about the date in a couple of slides. Then we go into our grant review process. Like I said, if any of you are interested, we have community grant reviewers. They are community leaders. They are in business. They're in collegiate institutions. They're in nonprofits. They're in government. They're in faith-based institutions. We try to get a really diverse group of voices from many different sectors. And each grant reviewer looks at about 5 grants. We try to have at least 10 sets of eyes on each application. We then let our awardees know, if they receive funding or not. And then we begin the year, and a fiscal year is July to June. So our funding priorities under health, we look to increase access to healthy food for families in our community, and the outcome is that families will experience greater food security. Under our veterans category, program staff and volunteers will increase access to affordable housing and legal services for veterans and their families. This leads to the outcome of increased accessibility to affordable housing and legal support options for veterans. Under financial stability, we look to improve access to resources to alleviate short-term financial crises in order to increase local families' economic position, resulting in an increase in financial assets for ALICE and low-income individuals. We have 2 priority areas under education. We look to increase opportunities for positive youth development and literacy services. The outcome being youth will enroll in programs that develop positive behaviors and or read proficiently at grade level. We also look to develop opportunities for lifelong learning to increase skill-based development, and as a result, increase families' access to education and workforce training programs. So looking at our key dates, and I will make this available afterwards, we will be releasing a request for proposal on February 6th. You'll be able to go on our website, and we will be sending out a constant contact to all of you that day. You will have 6 weeks to then write your proposal, so they will be due back on March 17th. We do not allow extensions or exceptions. So please, 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 I can say 100 pleases right now. Don't wait till the last day. Don't wait till the last hour. I don't know why a lot of you like to live on the edge, right? So about half of our proposals usually do come in the last hour. I don't know, I'm too neurotic. I can't live on the edge like that. But if you go ahead and end up encountering internet issues or something like that happens, we don't have extensions. So please don't ask. Please just, even a few days before, right? So just making sure if there's an emergency, your proposal is in. And it kills us when we get those requests and when we get those proposals in late, because we're not the bad guy. We're partners with all of you, but we do have these policies in place. Our technical guidance PowerPoint is available online. We'll make sure that that is updated. And of course, any questions can go to CI inbox at UWDOR.org. You all know Rebecca. Rebecca's wonderful. She's the best. Her and I work very closely together. And, if I can answer it, I will. If I can't answer it, I'll just let you know I can't answer this. So, and of course, she's also our technical genius and wizard. So if there's any portal questions or anything like that, she'll be able to help you. So don't freak out. Don't worry. Rebecca's got this. We'll then let awardees know in June of 2023 and execute those contracts for July 1 for another 1-year time period. Like I said, we have a thorough, intensive community grant process with up to 200 grant reviewers who evaluate and score each of your proposals and then bring them up to our Community Impact Committee, who has a full day of going through all of the recommendations from the grants reviewers and then trying to distribute the available funding in most equitable manner. And then I present all of that in the 6-month process up to our board of directors for final approval, who are also very active and engaged in the process. Several of them participate in grants reviews, sit on our Community Impact Committee, and are just so proud of all the incredible work you all do. What we expect from our community partners and our funded partners is a successful observation of a program site visit. We have had virtual site visits. Right now we're hybrid, right? So some site visits may make sense to be more virtual if we're not able to, physically sit with clients. And it's a meeting between staff, and that can definitely be done effectively on Zoom. But if it's an opportunity for us to, for example, see youth somewhere, if there is an opportunity for us to go in person, we're at that point where we can do that. So that's where we are right now. And again, hopefully that's where we'll be, in the fall, because they're calling the new variant the Kraken, which I guess the scientists are joking now. I don't know. We do expect a timely completion of mid-year and end-of-year reports. It's only 2 reports, and we try to keep them as bare bones and simple as possible. We really just want the impact. How many folks you're serving? Are you meeting the outcomes you anticipated? And give us a couple success stories so that we can let our donors and community members know about the incredible work that we're all doing together. Please do make sure your United Way logo is on your website and any program materials that you're printing. And if you need any help with that, let us know. Again, we're not the bad guy, we're here to help. And make sure your 211 and your volunteer portal are updated. And if you have any questions about that, please let us know as well. I know sometimes making sure your 211 is updated is like the last thing on your list, but it's really important. We get 20,000 calls in our area to 211. If they're looking for a program and you're the one that could be it, we want them to be able to be directed to the correct place. So please, you just call 211, say you're an agency, and they will get you updated. Or if you want to email someone directly, just reach out to me and I'll get you connected. And we do ask y'all to participate in our, United Way events. We have gone back to a lot of our in-person fundraisers, and we have some exciting ones coming up. And at the end, I'll let Jeannie talk a little bit about that. But we do love for our partners to be there so you can meet with our donors, our supporters, and just, again, it's a partnership. We're all doing this work together, and we're really so proud too to showcase your amazing work. We do have volunteers through our volunteer portal, and Rebecca, if you can drop that link in the chat box, that would be great, because we have updated it. And if you have questions about that, you can certainly reach out to Rebecca. And of course, we have these fabulous days. I know you all learned a lot from Cami and Jessica, and you're going to give me some great testimonials in your survey. So thank you in advance. We do offer these a couple times a year, as well as our community conversations. And we have our Gift in Kind program and our community conversations. And we had some fabulous folks at our last community conversation on food insecurity. So we really are trying to always make sure we're being responsive to the most emerging and critical needs in our community. And of course, attending all of these phenomenal fundraisers that Gina is going to talk about at the end. Through Days of Caring, we have 5 that we celebrate a year. So right now we're through our MLK Day Equity Challenge. And if one of my team members could post that in the chat, that link, I know it's been going throughout the day, but if they could post it again, that would be great. Like I said earlier, we're on day 7, but it's not too late. You can get access to all of the previous day's recordings, links, articles, videos, and also the next 14. Diversity, equity, inclusion is super important, obviously, to all of the work that we all do in the community. And so that we hope that you will all participate in our equity challenges. We do all the work for you, so it's a great way for you to go ahead and participate in this learning and share this with your organization, and this helps increase your equitable practices and capacity. We also have our National Volunteer Week, our Day of Action, 9/11 Days of Service, Make a Difference Day. I know many of you have worked with Caitlin, and so she'll be getting in touch with you to start planning some of our spring projects. Thank you.
Melissa, it's Tracy from the food bank. Can I just ask, are there dates? Like, is the Make a Difference Day a national thing?
So that's usually October 20th.
October 20th. And how about the Day of Action?
Yep, that's the United Way thing. That's the solstice, so June 21st. So around that. And then National Volunteer Week is in April, usually the third week of April.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great question, Tracy.
Thanks.
So I'm sure many of you have been to our days of sharing, or at least participated in one of our drives of our basement. You know, it's a fantastic program. We've pretty much tripled it to where it's begun, and Rebecca does an excellent job cultivating so many great relationships with our partners who donate our goods, as well as to our community partners that then receive those items. We also the last couple summers have given out over 100,000 diapers and tons of school supplies. So we're always trying to be really responsive to community need. We have our sort of larger scale days of sharing you can certainly sign up for, and then we can always help as needed. I know Rebecca has appointments throughout the week, so if you are interested and maybe something you didn't know about, do reach out to Rebecca, and Rebecca, if you can just throw your information again in the chat box. We have lots of wonderful items that are all new in our basement to help families, survivors, children, anyone that may be in need. We have a professional development like today, and these are some of our past topics: social media, human resources, grant writing, volunteer management, communication, strategic planning, outcomes measurement, disaster planning, fundraising, community collaboration, social determinants of health, anti-racism, just for impact of COVID, DEI, and partnerships. So as you all can tell, we're trying to really bring you the most important and engaging, helpful professional development training for your cost. And we had some fabulous presenters today. Cami and Jessica just absolutely blew me away. So I hope you all keep coming to these. And for our partners, our funded partners are able to receive a discount at Mount St. Mary College. So if that's something that's new to you in the adult programs, do reach out. And our volunteers are able to participate and receive a discount at Marist College. So if that's new to you, let me know. And if you have wonderful volunteers that are going through your organization, as long as you are able to partner with us and have them go through opportunities through our volunteer portal, they can be eligible for that discount. So definitely feel free to ask me more offline. And I did mention our 21-day equity challenge. Again, just want to mention diversity, equity, inclusion work is really important to our organization, and we will start putting together our Juneteenth racial equity challenge. And of course, Alice, we like to shine a spotlight on Alice, our asset limited income constrained employed folks. There's, you know, unfortunately, and I know Cami mentioned a statistic earlier, right, that women are 2/3 of minimum wage earners, for example. So, you know, we know that it's really challenging, but 45% of folks in New York State aren't able to balance their budget and are always, you know, a paycheck away from financial collapse. You know, 40% of households nationally don't have more than $300 in the bank to weather a sort of emergency. And of course, as if with the housing shortage, right, it's yeah, I mean, you all do this work. I could talk about this all day with you. But you please do visit our ALICE report. It's really interesting data, obviously very depressing, but it is really helpful to know, and it really does segment it out to single female head of household, BIPOC families, what have you. Can be really helpful in your grant writing too. So just please do utilize this resource. We invest in it with a number of United Ways, and we do this for the benefit of all of you. We do have our community conversations. Like I said, each year we pick a different topic depending on what the community needs are. So over the last number. We've looked at veterans' needs, early learning, the opioid epidemic, which of course, unfortunately has really resurged during the pandemic. Looking at the needs of Alice, resiliency, housing barriers, which again, I don't have to preach to the choir, food insecurity, and of course, learning loss and youth mental health, which is another crisis. So there's, like I said, if you ask me what the biggest needs in the community are 1 month, I might give you a different answer the next month. So please do participate in our community conversations. We want to hear from all of you. 211, I would take a poll to find out if anyone doesn't know about it, but that would make me too sad if anyone doesn't know about it. So please, 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 please remember 211, burning building 911, burning question 211. It's available 24/7. There's also text service. So if any of your clients are in need, this is the first referral place you can call them. It's available 24/7 in over 200 languages. And we recently partnered with Dutchess County government and have worked on an eviction prevention program that has impacted almost 500 Dutchess County families. Some new initiatives, right? So we thought, well, we're not doing enough. Let's do some more, right? So we have our nutrition outreach and education program, and hopefully you all got to meet Kendra and Isabella. They're fantastic. And if you can both put your contacts again in the chat, that would be great. So if you're looking to get any of your folks and participants signed up for SNAP benefits, they can assist. They're fantastic. We also have a language lines. We have bilingual service. They can meet folks in the community, at our office, so we are being extremely accessible in this program, really trying to get out there. And if you have opportunities that they can come and table at or meet your participants, they are really enthusiastic and wonderful. We've been doing a lot of public health messaging around the triple-demic and getting people to just go back to their primary care provider. We have learned anecdotally that a lot of folks haven't been to their primary care provider since the pandemic. People just really got out of the habit, or maybe they just, haven't gone to get their colonoscopy or, their breast cancer screening or what have you. So we're really trying to get people to go back to their doctor, because obviously the sooner you catch something, the easier it is to treat. So we have been doing a lot of bilingual messaging through our social media, through radio, through advertisements, digital ads. Hopefully you've seen some of our billboards. So that has been a great partnership with New York State that we've been really focused on. And prior to that, we did a huge campaign as well, a social messaging campaign around people to get their flu and their COVID vaccine. So we're very, very huge about public health. We also have lift codes available. So if any of your folks are in need of transportation to get to the doctor or the grocery store, get vaccinated, get to a class, what have you, they can receive a one-time round trip lift code in Poughkeepsie, Newburgh area. So if you have questions, just shoot me an email. And like I mentioned, we've helped almost 500 households with eviction prevention services through 211 in Dutchess County government. So that's been an excellent partnership. And then we have Ray here, our new food security Vista, who's been working closely with the food bank on increasing food accessibility. So those are some of our newest programs I wanted to share with you all while I had you. Through all of the work that we do, this is a snapshot of the work, a collaboration. We've helped almost 132,000 people last year, through our prescription discount cards, or the funded programs that we work with, our 211 helpline, or cash, which I didn't even mention, and Liz and Linda, please don't kill me. Cash is amazing. It is our free tax preparation service that we work with, creating assets, saving hope. Linda Eddy does an absolutely fantastic job, and Dave Weaving coordinating this really wonderful project, which I know has 20 different partners. And they are accepting appointments now, which can be made through 211. And each year they're helping over 4,000 different households, a lot of seniors, a lot of Alice, low income, moderate income households, and a lot of transformational change. They do great surveys at the end and, find out that a lot of folks who are able to really make a transformational change, maybe purchase a washer dryer, maybe repair a vehicle, maybe pay down credit card debt, things that really make a huge difference in our lives. So I think otherwise, I covered everything here that is in our impact report. So there's my contact information. Feel free to take a picture of it, or I will also put it in the chat box as well. And hopefully y'all have it. Probably I'll get 10 emails from me a day. So I'm going to stop sharing and allow you all to put questions in the chat box or unmute yourself. Thank you. And before I do that, Jeannie, do you want to talk about the fundraising side of everything?
Of course. Thank you. This was a terrific day, in my opinion, and I always learn something new. I was writing notes and I was taking pictures with my phone and stuff. But so we do have our celebration of service coming up. It is going to be May 17th at 5:30 at the Grandview, and we are going to be honoring Millbrook Wineries. We promise you it'll be fun, and we're also giving a discount to nonprofit employees. So we hope to see you there. I mean, we love representation from the nonprofit community. And then also at that, and Susan Marchuka, who is on, you can call her with any questions or anything. And then also at that event, we're going to be crowning our Talent United finalists. And Lindsay Miller, I know she's on here. I saw her. Oh, there she is. So we will be taking, registrations for people to be in part of our Talent United, which is so much fun. People submit a video of whatever their talent is, and then we narrow it down to the finalists, and then they're voted on, and they get to, if they can, perform at the event, which is very exciting. So we will be having that, and you'll hear more about it. And it's not confirmed yet, but we're hopeful that our Pull the Plane event will be Saturday, June 10th at Stewart Airport. And you'll be hearing a lot more about that. We just got to confirm that we've got our plane. So I think that's it for now on the fundraising. Liz is on. I don't know if she wants to add anything, or Lindsay or Susan.
No, if anyone needs more information, Susan, if you can put your contact information in the chat box, and Lindsay as well for Talent United, if anyone wants any information, but all the information is going to be up on our website.
Currently working on getting all the information together for Talent United, but I did put the link for Celebration of Service. That is live. So if you want to check that out, it's there.
Thank you so much. Thanks, fundraising team. So I do have a couple questions about some of our programs. One was about Lyft. So I know, Michelle, you mentioned it is only in Poughkeepsie, Newburgh, which is true. However, if it's on the outskirts, for example, Walkenders to Poughkeepsie, it's got to be under 25 each way. So we've been able to get as far as Pleasant Valley, but we can't really get much farther than the Dutchess side. And we've been able
I'm sorry, Melissa, $25 or 25 miles?
Dollars.
Okay. So it has to be under $25 each way.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other side, for example, we can get Newburgh to New Windsor, but not much farther than that. So we have a little bit of flexibility with that, but unfortunately, because there's been a driver shortage during the pandemic, we have to really limit it to those vicinities where there are the most drivers. And I will have some codes available in the next couple of weeks for folks that are asking. And I know I saw Deidre put some collaterals and Val put some collaterals around cash, which is great because I know there are some questions about that. I'm just looking through if there's anything I missed. Does anyone want to come off mute? Did anyone have any questions about funding or just anything else? We're all here to help. So.
If you can reiterate what day granting opens?
February 6th. Great question.
Okay, and it ends March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day. And we really don't want you to wait till St. Patrick's Day. We won't.
Jane's ready though. See her background?
What? Who's?
Like Jane's ready for St. Patty's Day background, right?
Yeah.
Well, really, there are 4-H clovers. But we don't mind sharing it with St. Paddy.
Very cute. Yeah, don't wait till the last day, guys, because you just never know what's going to happen. Your, system could go down or whatever. And we don't want the fact that you're not getting funding because you couldn't get in. And that's why we do this meeting. We want to give you as much time as possible. We want to offer assistance, but we also want to tell you, we don't take late people. It's kind of like, we have to have like a cutoff period. So, and that's been decided by the committee. So, yeah, please, any questions before then? And yeah, lift codes are with email, I'm sorry, Melissa, I think someone answered that when I saw that.
I need clarification on the grant application. Did you say an LOI should have been in and folks were invited? Because on the website, there's a February 6th community grant opening.
Yeah, great question, Liz. So there was an LOI in the fall, and we did invite those that were successful in their LOI to apply for a full funding application. For those that have had their programs funded in the last 3 years, they did not need to submit an LOI. They're able to just go ahead and apply to our full funding. If somebody for some reason did not put in an LOI but would like to still apply, it'll be up to our community impact committee if they'll accept that application or not.
So they don't, you just apply, no LOI. Once
at this point, the LOI is closed. Thank you. Rachel Wilson.
Yeah, just a couple quick things representing the Youth Bureau end of things for anybody working with youth and families, because we partner a lot. I encourage anybody who has questions or isn't as used to doing United Way grants to also join in the opportunity when you can. Melissa last year had invited us to be a part of the panel or the discussion if you have questions that are generic, that, what goes on in the mind of a grant reviewer, what are we thinking when we look at grants, and that could be helpful to you. Also wanted to just reiterate the importance of the volunteer portal and 211. From the United Way perspective, we really use that United Way portal. We have young people, teens, and college students looking for volunteer opportunities. And if you're not in that portal, we have a much harder time to connect these interested folks to you. So take the time to do it. If you need a little more guidance with it, if you're Orange County, reach out to us. We've helped some of the youth serving organizations and others, if you're a veterans group or animal group, because our young people are looking for a variety of volunteer opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. I'm glad you brought that up. And yes, Rachel is going to have another session, another office hour session. Her and I are confirming the date, which I just added to my list of to-dos, Rachel. So thank you so much. And the Youth Bureau is such a tremendous partner. We're so appreciative. And I steal from Rachel and ideas because she's brilliant. And we do coordinate a lot of our positive youth development strategy as well. So thrilled you're on here, Rachel, and thank you again. A lot of her team during the pandemic did a lot help with our volunteer portal and getting like 100 different opportunities up there for Orange County, and a lot of the more rural Orange County areas that we hadn't had a lot of opportunities up previously. So that was phenomenal. So yeah, keep posting them, Rachel. They're wonderful and really appreciate the help of your team. So thanks. Sabrina Sargent, you're next.
Yes. Hi, Melissa. So I missed the LOL, and I heard you say that you wouldn't be able to make that decision. So what do I need to do in order to find out?
Yep. So you can go ahead and submit a full application, and then it will be up to our community impact committee if they will put resources into those.
Okay. So at this point, it's too late for, you said it was closed for the LOL.
The LOI is closed, correct.
And I'm sorry, as far as volunteering for the review process.
Yeah.
How do I get onto that?
I'd love to have you. So just shoot me an email after today and I will send you all the information and your conflict of interest form and what have you. And again, if any of you are invited that are interested, Sabrina, I really look forward to working with you. And again, a lot of folks have said that are grant writers on the funding side or the program side. I've just said it's very helpful for me to be on the other side because, we put in so many grants that it's just really good professional development.
Okay.
So
yep, thank you.
Great. Jane, you're next.
I would love some training in how to accurately write your budget. I have two problems. First of all, the CCDC operational budget is relatively huge, but the program budget, which is a standalone budget, is relatively small. And B, our financial year doesn't align with the grant year. And it's really hard separating all that out and making sense of it on the budget form. So if there was any training available to do that more accurately, I guess, and be sure we're giving you what you want, I'd really appreciate that.
Okay, thank you, Jane. I'm happy to have a phone call with you, after this and talk more through that. And Rebecca and I will take a look at our budget form and just see if there's any way to streamline it. And I do want to say you're not alone. I mean, for example, our Catholic Charities organizations, right, they may have a larger budget as an organization, but then the crisis funding that we're providing is, obviously a very small portion of their budget. So a lot of organizations are in a similar boat.
Thank you.
Danny Saratella.
Hi, thank you. I missed it. Did you say if an organization was funded in the last 3 years, we don't need an LOI, or if we have applied in the last 3 years?
If you've received funding for a program in the last 3 years, and I know Bintu, you also asked that. So if your program has been funded by United Way in the last 3 years, then you did not have to put in an LOI.
Thank you.
You have me for 18 more minutes, so if you got more questions, feel free to unmute, raise your hand, or put them in the chat.
It looks like Sabrina Sargent has a question, Melissa.
I think her hand may still be up from last time.
Okay.
Did you have
Yes,
another
I'm
question,
sorry.
Sabrina?
Nope, I'll take it down.
No worries. I do the same thing. Jackie?
Hi, Melissa. I just had a quick question in regards to, if you have an organization that has never been funded before, what would be key things that you're going to, or the committees is going to be looking for to, I know that it has to be one of the items that's listed as far as like a focal point, but, within that, what should we be focusing on as, clear objectives for what would be a high priority for United Way?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a lot of things, and I just want to say publicly before I answer this that I do not make these decisions. I can't guarantee funding. I just convene it. But what I can say is that from our grant reviewers, they're always looking for, clear proposals, programs that have impact. They look at partnerships. They look at geographical diversity. They look at how many other programs are funded in the same category. They look at how much funding we have available, if it's a more competitive year or not. Does it relate, to the pandemic? Does it relate to emerging needs? Obviously, like you said, it has to follow our priorities and our request for proposal documents. Is it an established program, or is there diversity of funding sources? I don't know. Jeannie, you want to add in any others?
Yeah, so we definitely do look at the budget. So Jane, that was a really good question. Especially, simple math, just make sure you guys are looking over it, I would say, because when there's errors on the budget, we kind of go, so, and then they come back to you guys and want to ask for more information and everything. So I would just, when we submit one, we always try to have, a couple of sets of eyes, especially on budgets, and, just make it as clear as possible. You don't have to use technical language and everything. Just make it as clear as possible so that the reader can understand exactly what your program is. So those would be my suggestions.
That's great. And I would also agree with you, and also add that, like you said, being very succinct. Don't feel like you need to write, if you have 1,500 characters, don't feel like you need to write one long sentence that's all those characters. Bullets are great. What's easy to read, so just think about, if you're a reviewer, what is going to come across.
Okay, thank you.
A great question, Jackie. Big question, but a great question. Other folks? All right, I'm going to go into closing because I know I'm going to start losing people otherwise, but I will stay on if anyone wants to talk to me privately or what have you. So I just wanted to again thank our phenomenal presenters. Can we please give them another round of applause? They are wonderful. Thank you so much, Jessica and Cami. And I also want to remind you all to take our survey. I also do hope to see you and your participants on February 2nd at our next financial literacy workshop around navigating household finances and budgets. Deidre, if you want to drop in that link, or one of my team, just one more time. We do have some more spaces available, and we'd really love for you all to get this information. And if you don't think it applies to you, it definitely applies to folks you work with and could be really helpful information for you to have. So again, please do your survey, please. That's how we get funding, so it's really important. And I just really appreciate all you do every day for the folks in our community. You're all amazing. Like I said, it's always fun to spend the day with my 100 friends. So thank you again, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll stick around.
Thank you so much,
Melissa. Bye, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Melissa.
Hi there.
I have a question for you. I think I may have misunderstood something. If we were funded through like the phase 30, that
Totally different pot of money.
okay, so then I should have done a letter of intent.
If you were looking for community fund money, yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I totally misunderstood the email when I got it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I have a
Thank you,
question.
Melissa.
Yeah.
Do you offer capacity building grants?
We do not. Dyson does have some of that funding, so they're a good
All right.
place to reach out to. Good question.
Well,
Hi,
thank you.
Melissa.
Really
So
informative.
Sorry.
are we still waiting to hear back for this funding?
Received a letter
or
about
has-
LOI. Are you asking about?
No, I know we had to do a letter of intent before
Yes.
by a
So
certain date. Are we still waiting to hear back from that, or is this something totally different?
yeah, so that was the first step, and we did send out those letters. If you didn't get it for some reason, Rebecca can chat with you offline about that and resend it. But this is for then the full proposal that's after the LOI. Which organization are you from, Felicia?
Passed-on Corporation. So it may have gone to Patricia, but I'll follow up with Rebecca.
Okay, thank you.
Because I did it, but she's the main person for the organization. So I'll follow up with Rebecca. I'll shoot her an email.
Okay, thanks. And yeah, I work close
Thank you.
with Patricia on the EFSP funding. So thanks so much.
Yes.
Melissa, this is Fern Lux from Chancellor Elementary. We're on snow day today, but is there anything like for a mini grant, or do we fill out the whole thing even if we're just asking for what in your world is a comparatively small amount?
Yeah, sometimes we do have funding available for mini grants. We don't right now. So it would be the full application at this point. If something changes, I can definitely let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good question. All right, I'm going to stop the recording. It seems like most people have